I didn't realize, actually, I was just looking at the Linda Nochlin book that's up there, how many times I've reworked this idea of what art is for, but she has a whole bunch of drawings where I've written my different lists, because it's always changing a bit. But I'd forgotten sort of how far back I started that. And the list is a question that seems always important to me, and I'm sure people talk about it, think about it, but I don't hear about it quite enough. So this is one of my lists anyhow. What is art for? And so, of course, a lot of these ideas are not original ideas, but they're things I do think about. To comfort the dead, to awaken the living and move their hearts and minds, to know the migrations of the mind, of stars, of birds, of fish, of insects, of clouds, of mammals, and of seeds. To create community against injustice. That's a very big one for me. To use oneself fully, to let the hand become a wing, a heart, a hoofbeat, a song, a color, and to let the mind leap and bolt, and for the joy of making things, and to take nothing for granted. That's my list today. As Jerald told you, this is all older work. At the moment, I'm in the process of painting on bits of bluestone. We live in the Catskills a lot. That's the stone we have. So I'm painting on, broken little bits, and some bigger. And it's just interesting to look at each piece of stone, how different it is and where they're similar. And bluestone, you can crack it sometimes just by banging with your hand or a hammer or another rock, and it splits like this. And that's not an original thing to do, to paint on stone, right? It's about as far back as you can go. But I'm combining these bits that are painted with also unpainted ones, and making sometimes small architectural spaces, sort of installation you would call, and combining them sometimes with old clay sculptures, what people call kill gods, because historically people put little figures in because you need all the help you can get when you fire. And I figured I needed more help than one, so I often put in 20, 25. And I think it did help, at least sometimes, quite a bit. And those are pieces, they're mostly very small, because I've always loved to work small and also large, and I love the difference, Something that you can hold in your hand, put in your pocket, turn around, look at in different light, put out in the rain, whatever. And so I'm taking photographs of these things I set up, which are the past for me, my past work anyhow, and often natural elements. And I bring that up because this is an interesting show for me to see. I never see all this work together, and I won't see it when I get on the plane after. And I always do feel I can learn a lot from seeing the show, because the work looks so totally different than in the studio. I'm in the process right now of trying to eliminate a lot of work so I don't get asphyxiated, for one thing. But all artists have to do that. So that I do get to look at quite a lot of old work, some of which I'm surprised that I like as much as I do, and others just the opposite. But I think it's really nice. Also, I'm not used to seeing things on a wall like this color, and it changes things, and it interests me. So the ink drawings were done probably a lot. I used to go to Provincetown on Cape Cod in Massachusetts for many years, renting different shacks with my children, and people were naked on the beach. It wasn't a nude beach. They were just, that's how it was. There weren't many people, and different, all generations. Quite old people, babies, everything. But for me, it was a great learning experience because I just used everyone as a model. And to be at the place where the land meets the sea, that edge, is really a dramatic place, whatever the weather. Whether there were huge waves coming in after a storm, the water was yellow-green, just that edge of horizon, whether the horizons are there or not. They are only in this one here. They are in some others. But it was seeing these figures. Actually, I used to dig a hole in the sand so I could get my eye level lower to draw, because I wanted to be sort of on horizon level. If you want, I'll read you a poem that I actually read as a child, and it doesn't refer to anything here, but it's a very powerful short poem, and it's written in the 7th century. I'm not sure by who. Could be Li Po, but I don't know. So that's Tang Dynasty, China. And I have it on a little clay piece written backwards that I use as a roller, like a Mesopotamian roller. This piece has rollers on it, right? Some piece here does. That one up there, they're stamps, yeah. But I have, I have hundreds of those with different images. So I wrote this backwards so it could be printed on clay. I just thought it's pertinent to me. The war was over, the emperor screamed. Calm summer afternoon, dahlias were blood red. Victory! We were defeated, leaving shame and hunger. That's a strong poem.